Hello guys, how's it going today? So we're doing some air compressor repair. Been trying to figure out why this thing's been leaking. Well, it's been leaking before. Looks like somebody brazed this. But the main leak is right here, right there. So that's got to get fixed. And then we got another small one starting to form right here. But I think we're going to have another one probably here in the next couple of years. Unfortunately, I think this is the reason why this compressor was no longer being used. Because the tank is probably getting thin. And I know some people say to take the drain out every, once a year or whatever, make sure there's no moisture in there. Well, I do that, but nothing comes out. So, but there is moisture in here because you can feel it come out of the pressure in the air. So I had to put 40 psi into the tank just so I could figure out where it was leaking from. But I think this is now this actually opened up quite a bit more when I cleaned it. So it's hissing a lot, or you don't hear it hissing now because it's out of air, but at the time, it was a smaller leak, and they had this one. But then as I cleaned that one, well, then it knocked junk free, and then started out. So this is a new one starting to form here. So I'm going to fix them both while I'm here. I'm just going to throw some JB weld on that. I don't have any way to braze it. I could tack weld it with the welder, but considering how thin the tank probably already is, that might be risky because it might just blow out. And right here, this is probably the worst. Once this blows, this air compressor will be done. So I'm definitely going to have to think about getting a new one here, probably in the next year or two. So there's not too much life left in this old guy. I'm sure if I fix this, this will get me by for a couple more years. And I just been running over it. I have my, could use my angle grinder, or not my angle grinder, but the Dremel tool. It'd make it go a million times faster, but I figured, well, if it's just that leak, then a little bit of sandpaper will be just fine. But come to find out, we got two leaks. This one is just starting to form, and this one's new. This is an old one that's been going on for years. But because ever since we got the air compressor working, it's always been leaking somewhere. I can always hear air hissing out, and I think that's another reason to why this thing can't build pressure quite as quick. It's still going to be slow because it's an older unit, but it shouldn't be this slow. So I think fixing those two leaks will get me by for, a couple more years. I will have to get a new air compressor. I don't know if I could somehow adapt all this old stuff to a newer tank, because I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is a 20-gallon or what. But considering how old the engine is and the pump, that might not fit to any newer style tanks. So, but considering how expensive air compressors are, I'm going to try to get as many years as I can out of this old guy. I would like a new one because they can build up air pressure a lot faster, and they can keep up with like air tools and stuff. This thing can't keep up with air tools. Hence probably, that's why, obviously one, because we have two leaks. Here I thought it was just one, but here it's freaking two. So, we are running out of time with this old thing, fortunately. I'm never going to get that perfectly clean. I'm going to have to come here, I think, with the... I got that one so damn clean, but this one, I don't know, there's so much like pitting in the metal that sandpaper can't do it on its own. It's slowly coming off, but Of course, I guess I need some newer sandpaper now, but I got JB Weld up there on the counter. I've never ever personally made a batch of JB Weld. It's always been my uncle that did it. Now we on the old L130, the fuel tank was leaking, and we just used JB Weld to fix that. The tank probably needs to be replaced, but for how much we're probably actually going to run the truck, you know, it'll do. So, but I've never made my own JB Weld before. It's just a well, I'm sure you guys know what JB Weld looks like. I don't know about Roosty 6 up there in Canada, if you guys have this product or not, but here's my mixing spoon, piece of cardboard. So basically, JB Weld, you have whatever this is. This is gray, and then you have a white one, and you make however much you think you're going to need. You would just make 2 long strips, you know, depending on how much you need. I'm probably going to need quite a bit, so you put them 2 on a piece of cardboard or whatever, and then you would take your mixing stick. Supposedly you mix it together, and then there you go. Mix it up really good. It says it's good up to 5,000 psi, which I don't know. Considering that this would be for air, I don't know. But it's never going to have that much pressure put against it. But it's good for metal, most plastics, and PVC, wood, concrete, tile, fiberglass, home repairs, audios, whatever. Yeah. So it says here, clean repair area. You know, remove any dirt, rust, or whatever. Yeah, equal parts onto a distillable, well, the mixing thing, obviously. Dry, sets 4 to 6 hours, cures 15 to 24 hours. I'm probably, so in 24 hours it'll be good, but it'll be it'll set up, it'll firm up in 4 to 6, I guess, depending on temperatures outside in the shop. But they recommend at least, you know, 15 hours before putting object back to service or back in use. So, but there's really no going back now. Because I have to do this for sure now, because I obviously blew through the rust. That was whatever was holding it somewhat together. And, you know, whatever else, right? So since I'm here. But yeah, that's why the old air compressor's been, she's been leaking air on us. And I'm sick and tired of it, because I feel like we could be going faster than that, having more air quicker. Fun fact, I got ants moving in the shop. I had to put out a poison for them. They're literally pushing dirt up onto the concrete because they're coming underneath. So they used to live in a tree, but the tree's gone now, so they don't move there they don't live there anymore. I've seen them wander here, and then they wander kind of around here. I might have our first victim. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to fall for that or not, but you're supposed to replace those poisons every 3 months, so that's why you have to date it. And there's a thing underneath that you can date it. So, but fortunately, I won't know if there's. Well, no, because if it's working, I won't see any walking around anymore. Right now, I still see them even. Damn little black ants, it looks like. Yeah, there goes one crawling up the wall, or the little bit of the beam there. And I don't know, I don't want them eating at the wood in the shop. So, even though it's pretty dried out, I don't think there's anything here worth them eating. But this has definitely gotten worse, this crack. It's really shifted and moved. So, yeah. So that's another project there that I'm doing. And then this one I need to finish. Or, well, I've already started, but this one I think is ready to go. But this one, almost. I think a new fresh piece of sandpaper will finish that up. But, yeah, I put, quite a few years ago, I put all new wheels on it. And they're getting sloppy already. Wow. Well, I think they've always had some slop in them, but yeah, had a hard time finding new wheels. The old ones, the bushings were all wore out, and they were so wore out that they were actually digging. Well, those wheels are actually steel. These are just plastic, but it was actually digging into, the wheel itself, egging it out, so then it was never. So you always had one wheel that was always doing that when you were pulling it, because sometimes I would move this thing to the house for using it during the winter. So, but yeah, the plans kind of was to replace this air compressor with a new one, put the new one here in the shop, and then I was going to put the old one down in the basement so then I could have air in the house, because obviously I would not use this as much then, but considering how rusty that is, that'll probably blow out in the next 2-3 years. But I'm going to do what I can for now, limp it along. Once this, blows the cap out, well, then you're pretty much done. I'm not even going to try to weld it because my welding skills aren't that great, and, well, the tank's getting thin anyway. It's already been patched once, you can see that. I didn't even know that was there until I flipped it over. So, but yeah, she's been patched once, but she'll be patched 2 more times now. And maybe a third here. If this isn't thin yet, but if it gets to that point, yeah, this is probably why they parked it. Because obviously many years ago, this building, like when I first moved in here, it wasn't a shop. It was just like a storage building for all their junk that they had in here. This shop was literally full of junk when I moved in. I had to throw it all away, and because I wanted to make it my shop. So yeah. So, but this was in here, and my uncle looked at it and was like, "Well, I don't know why this is here." Of course, dumbasses, we didn't think to look underneath. But the original hose that was on here was extremely short. I don't even think I have the hose anymore because it was kind of junk too. So then I made this setup, put quick release things on there so you can move it if you had to. Check the compressor for oil, put brand new oil in it. We checked the motor still spun over. It all spins over perfectly fine, so I don't know why it was originally just thrown back here. But I think now I see why. Because it was leaking and they didn't want to fix it anymore. Like, wow. You fixed it once, fix it again. I'm just going to use freaking JB Weld on that. So, but try that. See if JB Weld will hold. I'm sure it will, but I want to make sure this metal's super clean first before I go to town on it. So, but yeah, I just want to show you guys that's what we're up to today. Is we're repairing the air compressor and finding the leaks. So far there's 2. This is the main one. This is probably the one that I'm hearing. This one was so small you couldn't even hear it. You could feel it, but you couldn't hear it. But then when I started removing the paint and the rust, well, then it started hissing more. So it's obviously, a bad spot. So I don't know. You guys tell me, but that's the. I don't know if you guys got to see that or not, but that's the brand of it. So, yeah, I just don't think that's going to last too much longer, unfortunately. But we'll limp it along for now. We'll fix these and then call it day done. This will have to sit for a few days. Well, I think they only say about maybe a day, but I'm going to give it a couple. And I don't know if I can leave my air compressor like that because I'm afraid that I might leak all my oil out, but I don't see a puddle. So maybe it'll be alright like that because then I could keep an eye on it, but I need to change the oil in this thing anyway. I don't do it every year like I should, but I do it at least every other year. But the air compressor gets used quite a bit, more than what we're thinking. So, but it's the only main compressor that I have too. So I'm definitely going to have to try to get a new one at some point. But I don't know, just too many freaking things to do. It's ridiculous. So hopefully this will last for a couple of years, maybe, and then I won't have to worry about it. Oh, our first victim just went in and seen it. Oh, no, came back out. You bitch. So, I don't know. Hopefully I guess they got to get used to that being there. I don't know. I'll come back in a couple of days. And if I notice that they're, if I don't see movement anymore, well, then it probably did its job. But that might take a couple of months too. I don't know how many ants are in that freaking pile, but I don't know. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'm gonna take off. I want to get this done, and plus I haven't made any dinner yet, so I want to go do that and get this done and let this cure. I'll check it tomorrow afternoon. It'll probably be firm, but it won't be hard as a rock. But I don't know. Time will tell. So, alright guys, so just a quickie here. I'll add it on to the end of this other video. Well, there's my JB Weld job. Probably not the freaking greatest thing in the world, but she'll hold, I think, once it firms up. And if you really wanted to, you could, once this gets fully cured, I guess you could sand that and then, paint over it. But I'm not going to bother. This is underneath, so nobody's going to see it. But, yeah, just enough. I don't want to use too much. So, but I don't know. Hopefully that'll harden up. Like I said, it'll take a few hours, and then a few hours just to set, and then like it was anywhere 15 to 24 hours that this is gotta fully harden. But she may not be pretty, but it might just work. But I won't know for probably at least a couple of days. So, but there you go. I wish I could have done that, but I think the tank is personally, I think the tank is getting too thin for that now. So, but whatever, it'll do. You guys will have to comment and tell me how ugly my JB Weld Fix looks. So, never made any of the stuff before. My uncle always has, but I've never made my own. I gotta clean the tip of my knife off, but because I'm a dumbass and didn't realize that inside the cap there's actually a little thing that you can use to punch through the plastic. So here I went and shoved my freaking knife through it. Such a dumbass. Rookie mistakes, but I'll go clean my knife off and it'll be just fine. So, but yeah, there you go, guys. You guys tell me what you think. So, hopefully we'll have a fully sealed unit here after a couple of days, but she'll just have to sit and hang, I guess, for a couple of days. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to take off, so I guess I have a good day and stuff. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.